Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for today's continuous discussion on Bhaktiyaloka. And today is a very auspicious day, 20th February 2025. On this day, we gathered to discuss, we are trying to delve deeply into Nectar of Instruction. Why I always say that this is auspicious day, whenever and wherever the topic of Krishna Katha or any topic that we're going to delve deeply into the studies of the mystery of Krishna's pastime and the ecstatic feeling of the pure devotees, that kind of discussion is always auspicious. So in fact, I think I've shared a photo, this thing by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. He said whenever the Krishna Katha is spoken, that place simply turns into Vrindavan. Okay, so we have taken this opportunity here, and I'd like to offer my gratitude to all of you for joining for today's session. So as usual, before we start, let's do our invocation prayer. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Parantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagar Jadam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Pasachari Satarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vignana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jwala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dina Tarine Rupanuga Viruddha Pasitanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambu Jayate Namaha Namo Bhaktivinodaya Sachidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravir Bhava Bhume Stvam Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Paditaram Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namrine Gaurati Se Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Avadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hari Om Tat Sat Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Jaya Pataka Swami Niti Namini Ramacharya Padaya Nittai Kripa Pradayane Gaura Kada Damadaya Nagaram Hari Om Tat Sat Hare Krishna. So on this wonderful day, we have gathered so to do our continuous discussion. I hope that you have your Bhaktiyaloka book with you handy. That's the page. Okay, so far we have already covered the mark the page. Okay. So we have already seen all that, most of that thing, yeah. All right. So the topics that we have, we have seen each and every word in detail studies. The 6 force that destroys bhakti. So number 1 is atyahara. Second is prayasa, prajalpa. Prajalpa is non talking, niyamagraha, following the rules just as you like, and rejecting when you don't like it. Janasanga, okay, that's a long topic that we have discussed about Janasanga. That what is the association of a devotee or an association of non-devotee? It's very important. So Janasanga, that means when you associate with non-devotees, what will be the effect? So today we're going to start our new topic here. We're going to talk on Laulyam. Okay. So Laulyam, then this is which principle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So today is the 6th. So this is the last topic, Laulyam. Laulyam means being greedy for mundane achievement. So this is going to be the last topic on this verse 2. Okay, let me get the screen. Okay, then after we finish this Laulyam, then we're going to start what they call the topics on favorable to devotional service. So now we are studying all these things which is not favorable for devotional service. Okay, so this is the thing that we should avoid. Try our best to avoid. And okay, how to avoid? First of all, we cannot straight away avoid rapidly, tremendously, but our avoidance should come carefully. That is what they call Bhaktivinoda Thakura is keep explaining here, right? Where is the word then? So many times you have explained the word. Okay. Okay, so the word is always he explain about we have to carefully avoid things. Carefully. So what does it mean is we should be doing this with full consciousness and and diligently. It is not that something that sometimes we do understand, sometimes how can I just suddenly do this? So carefully means what? You are conscious. Careful means you are very conscious. When I say be careful when you go there, so that means you start to be very conscious. It's the thing is not happening whimsically. That means you are paying attention to what is happening around you and you are alert. So that's the way that we should try to stay away from these 6 impediment that can be a big hindrance in our spiritual process. Because again, I'm reminding the reason that we are studying Bhaktiyaloka is because we have somewhere in our heart there is a little drop of desire to become a pure devotee of the Lord. Sometimes a person wants to become a policeman, example, or he wants to become a soldier. So you only see outwardly, the uniform they wear and the way they march and walk looks very interesting. So I want to become a policeman or I want to become a soldier. Okay, I've got the desire. But what is that process of being soldier or being a police? You have to be drilled. You have to stay under the hot sun. You have to march in the mud and you have to do pumping in the mud, and people will be marching at the back of your back and make sure that your shirt is not dirty with the mud. If the shirt is dirty, then you will be punished, severe punishment. All this kind of severe punishment, a person has to go before actually the person could become a police or a soldier. Okay, so now what happened when they start to see all the rules and regulation of being that, oh, they get a shock, oh my God. So I think I can't be a soldier and police. No, it's not that. Get to know first, right? Get to know this thing and mentally try to be prepared to go through the drill. Mentally prepared, and once you're done, it will be happy ending. All right. End of the day, that all of you will be very happy. That means the person who wants to become a soldier or a police is so proud, like that. Similarly, here in this the reason that we are studying the sixth fault. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going very deep into it, and he's hammering. Is actually basically hammering in our mind that you better stay away from all these kind of things. If any of these things, even a tint of it sticks with you, there is no possibilities of being a pure devotee of the Lord. Right? We may miss the boat because we are all aspiring, if it's possible, if it's Krishna willing, that we all wants to go back to Godhead, not to heavenly planet, not to Brahmaloka, not even to Vaikuntha Loka, but straight to Goloka Vrindavan and be a personal associate of Srimati Radharani and Sakis and Manjaris to serve the most beautiful, the most pleasing Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna himself. That is our goal. Yes or not? So, anyway, it is okay to set your goals and to work on it. It's to set your goals and work on it, then not setting your goals and not working on it. Even that we don't make it in this birth, but our desire is there. Our Krishna, the Yoga Maya, and sorry, this the desire Krishna will fulfill it. So that means next birth you'll be still born in this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and definitely you'll born into this kind of holy places like Vrindavan or Mayapur, and you start to become a devotee from the day one you fall into this material world. So there's no loss or diminution. So it is still worth it. Then from there, until which 6 characters that has been stopping you, you're going to improve that, and eventually you're going to become a pure devotee of the Lord. But of course, because we still have the choice, Krishna has given us the choice, and through our spiritual master, through all the acharyas. That's why his personal associate like Manjari, Rupa Manjari, he came down, she came down. All right, Rupa Manjari is a very dear associate of Srimati Radharani. She came down to this material world in the form of Rupa Goswami and start to give this kind of instruction. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that day I said this one, he's also one of the Manjari, and he further elaborated, okay, after 400 plus years after, or 500 years after, again another Manjari came down to elaborate the teachings of Rupa Goswami, to go further in detail. Then after 100 over years, after that, 100 years later, and today we are sitting and studying and benefiting from this education. So when Bhaktivinoda Thakur as the 7th Goswami was here, then his son, another Manjari born, he went and further elaborated what his father did. Then after that, he had soldiers of devotees, and one of the soldier, which we also can say a commander-in-chief, like none other than our beloved A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He created this Gaudiya mission, the Gaudiya Vaishnava mission worldwide. He went to West and created the chanting of Hare Krishna as a householder name. And he has created this international Gaudiya mission. He named it as International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON. And by his mercy and blessings, that we are seeing that centers are in every town and village around the world. And of course, through his illustrious disciples, they went and further pushed this movement. And through their inspiration, we are inspired as their disciple, as the disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So we are also inspired to move on to push this movement and create this opportunity available in every town and village. So now, by the mercy of Zoom technology, so now we are here, sitting here in the comfort of the home, and we are connecting worldwide because I saw that and social media. So we are utilizing the social media in a very positive way. This is called Yukta Vairagya. Social media is nasty. All right, it's nasty, it's terrible. But we are simply utilizing it for the benefit of increasing our spiritual life. I've seen that I got a summary from this YouTube that I've got a huge people are watching this YouTube online channel from India, especially Bhubaneswar, Karnataka, and few from Tamil Nadu. And also, I'm very surprised. So, so that is what the power of social media. And of course, this is what we are utilizing. We are pushing this movement further to every town and village so that everyone will benefit from this. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Pujyapada Bhaktivinoda Thakur for creating this opportunity that each and every one of us can benefit. Because these are the personalities translated all the books from Bengali, Sanskrit into English. First was to do that was Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because he knew he could foresee a commander-in-chief is coming soon. So he is preparing all his ammunition and weapons. So he translated all the books, especially Chaitanya Charitamrita. Until Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's time, the Chaitanya Charitamrita was scattered. The book looks lost. He went and searched everywhere. He went to every sadhu's house, tried to take cheap, bit and pieces. Then after that, he compiled it, and that is how the Chaitanya Charitamrita has been saved and is been translated into English and further translated with commentary by Srila Prabhupada. And now we are having this Chaitanya Charitamrita in every town. And for all of your information, now Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, that means the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and his confidential devotees, has been translated into 60 languages in the world. 60 languages. Once upon 100 years, 120 years ago, the things that was lost and discovered and found by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and today the book has been translated into English and brought to by Srila Prabhupada to the West, and from there now it's been translated into many languages. Now the book is available for everyone. So we understand. So this is the will of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to distribute this love of Godhead, and looks like anybody, we studied in our Jana Sangha, even outcast. So again, let me remind you, what is outcast? Can anyone tell me what is outcast?
Those who are not follow the four regulative principles.
Okay, those who are not following the four regulative principles. Okay, that is standard. But in detail, who is considered the real outcast?
Meat eaters.
Yeah, sorry?
Meat eaters.
All right, very good. And second? First is meat eating, second is what?
Non-devotee, Prabhu.
No, not to say non-devotee. Who is what is the second character? The two characters Bhaktivinoda says, these are the outcasts. Who are they? First is meat eater, fair enough. What is second? The second habit.
Why intoxication?
Sorry?
Intoxication.
Yes, that means intoxication in detail. Which intoxication?
Liquor, drinking?
Yes, exactly. Very good, Mataji. Thank you so much. Liquor, when we drink alcohol, and those who are alcohol drinker and the meat eaters are considered the outcasts. Even these outcast people also can achieve the highest benefit. Because nowadays, when you see in this Kali Yuga, these outcasts are very common. Even within our family. Within our family, eating meat is become a norm. Eating meat become a norm. And when you go and tell yourself, I'm a vegetarian, I say you are a vegetarian, people look at you. Why? Is there any fasting, special fasting or anything? Because it looks like being a vegetarian is something which is quite amazing. And secondly, drinking alcohol has become norm. Nowadays, even the ladies are start drinking. They are drinking, the way they drink, even the men cannot stand with them. Until in every pub and bistro, they have this thing they call ladies' night, especially on Wednesday. On Wednesday is called a ladies' night. I was like, why they put a ladies' night? Nowadays, the ladies' night, the pub, sometimes I used to need to pass through some at night. There's one in Little India, there's one pub. I mean, I don't know whether it's still available or not. Every Thursday, Wednesday night, you can see full of ladies, and especially Indian ladies, which we never heard of before. All happily drinking and dancing, all the nonsense things happening. So that means it's very common. Now we are living in a community of outcasts. So when we are trying to be this thing, and people look at you, say you look like an alien, right? But what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, even these outcasts, right? The like story of Jagai and Madai. Jagai and Madai, they are the extremely sinful people. They attacked Nityananda Prabhu when he went and asked Jagai and Madai, please chant Hare Krishna. But these two fellows were drunk and they were terrorizing the road. They were drinking and they are disturbing everybody. They are meat eaters and also this thing. So when they went and when he wanted to go and deliver them, they took the pot, the pot, the drinking, those days there's no cup or mug. So they take the pot, they drink, say, oh, what? Hare Krishna, Nityananda Prabhu. Only said, and the blood started to ooze up. Immediately, Lord Chaitanya, he took his ferocious form, he took the Sudarshan Chakra, rushed in a pot to cut their head off. And immediately Nityananda Prabhu stopped him and reminded Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Prabhu, you came here not to kill anyone. You came here to deliver everyone. Because when you look at all that other pastimes, Hiranyakasipu came to, Narasingha came to kill Hiranyakasipu. When Lord Krishna came, he killed this Sisupal, this Kamsa and all the demons and everything. When he came in the form of Ramachandra, he killed Ravana. When he came in the form of Varaha, he killed Hiranyaksha. So that is his duty, because that's what in Bhagavad Gita he says, to annihilate the miscreants and to re-establish re-establish Dharma. I will descend millennium after millennium. Can anyone recall that verse? What is that verse in Bhagavad Gita? Even, are you there? Anyone recall? Paritranaya sadhunam.
Yes,
Right?
Prabhu. Yes. Sorry, Prabhu. Sorry.
Paritranaya sadhunam. Then second line is something duskritinam.
The four types of
No. Krishna says he will come millennium after millennium to kill the demons, annihilate the miscreants, and to re-establish the Dharma. Paritranaya sadhunam.
something yuge something.
Yes, last is yuge. See, my memory is so gone. Paritranaya sadhunam. Anyway, maybe if you have a Gita, please check and share in the group. Paritra. So he comes. So that's the thing. But now, when Lord Chaitanya wanted to come and kill the Jagai and Madai, Nityananda Prabhu said, my dear Lord, if you want to kill these two people, you have to kill everybody. You have to kill everyone, because everyone are Jagai and Madai. Everyone are outcasts. You want to kill, you have to kill everybody. Right? Then he became, so you see, when that form that when this Jagai and Madai saw that the anger pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, then after that they repented and they became a pure devotee of the Lord. So like that. So Jana Sangha, everyone is that, like in that kind of situation, but with the mercy of our Acharya, especially Srila Prabhupada, who brought this movement to the West, especially we are also considered the Westerners because we are not living in India. In India, if as long you are living out of India, you are known as Westerners. Easterners, Northerners, or Southerners, not like that. Westerners. We are living out of the country. So even the people in India also, now they are losing their treasure. Anyway, so like that. So anyone who have taken up this bhakti, they could actually achieve the highest perfection despite of whatever their background. Right? So where is that? Where is the thing? Right? If one commits abominable activity, if he engage in devotional service, he is not to be considered, is to be considered saintly. Right? Even if one commits most abominable action, terrible action. But if when he starts to engage in devotional service, he has to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination, like that. So every one of us who came from this, not everyone, I shouldn't generalize. I came from this outcast family, and today, by the mercy of Krishna and this thing, I'm trying my best to improve. Like that, I mean, mostly the people are in this Kali Yuga, they are like that. Therefore, we should know what is the rules and regulation. Then we try to gradually progress. And where's the gradual process is mentioning here, right? Okay, even if outcasts attain faith, again, you mentioned the outcasts attain faith, right? Then after that, it's also saying, so having awakened the faith in the narration of my glories, being disgusted with all activity, knowing all sense gratification leads to misery, but still being unable to renounce. All right. So even though that we hear the narration of my glories, being disgusted, oh, this is terrible, of material activity, knowing that all sense gratification only leads to misery, only suffering, but after listening to this, still cannot give up. Okay, still cannot give up. But it's okay, because Krishna says, my devotee remains happy and worship me with all great faith and conviction. Even though he sometimes engage in sense enjoyment. Sometimes he says, those people, okay, sometimes they go, go for yamsing, go for beer and all these things. But still Krishna says, my devotees knows that all sense gratification leads to miserable result, and he sincerely repents such activities. He will start to repent. So when an intelligent person engage constantly is the word, in worshipping me through loving devotional service, his heart becomes firmly situated in me. And by that, all material desires within the heart are destroyed. So all this kind of anarthas, bad habits, all right, will destroy. So once all these nonsense things start to be destroyed, what is the next thing? He will start to elevate in devotional service. So all of us are coming from this outcast background. So we have to some or other improve. So that's the topic that we are all studying, right? Because I know yesterday's topic was quite heavy, and day before yesterday's topic also kind of heavy. Huh? So, but we have to know. But whether you can follow that or not, as what Krishna says, have faith in him. Awaken the faith in him. How? By listening to his glories, right? Then after that, you're going to get disgusted with material activities, right? So, and sometimes when we fall from our situation, when we get entangled with this, but now we are falling, but never get entangled. Because why? Once we fall, then after that, you start to repent. It's normal. I think anyone have experienced that? You know you shouldn't do that. But after you do that, then you regret. I shouldn't have done that. All right? Like example, I know a person, formally. Okay. Why am I talking about this? I talk about myself. I know I shouldn't drink, Hare Krishna, somewhere or other. But after I drink, come back home, I made a big mistake. I shouldn't have done that. So the mentality of repentation, right? So it's very important. So that means, even though we are struggling in this wilderness of material condition of life, we some or other will make it. Right? So we are listening. So okay, then you see, now let's look at the last character that can destroy your bhakti. It's called Laulyam. Laulyam means it's a longing, ardent longing of greed. Longing in Tamil, what we call ekam. Ekam. ஏங்கிக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறது. எனக்கு கிடைக்காதா, எனக்கு அது நடக்காதா. ஏக்கம். Okay, in English we call longing. Why is thing never happened to me? I want this thing so badly. Like the parents are longing for the children to come back. When my child will be back, and ask, is there will they be coming for Deepavali this year? Are you sure they are coming back for Deepavali? Longing. And sometimes the parents are put into this home, this old folks home, right? Nowadays, those days, around 10 years ago, 15 years ago, sending the parents to old folks home is considered very nasty. It's considered a very nasty habit, right? The children are very irresponsible. But today, sending elderly people to the old folks home is considered a very best option for them because they could be taken care very nicely compared to the way that we taken care. Why? Because today both husband and wife start working. Those days the man goes to work, the wife maintains the family. But now it's terbalik. Until the children also has to be sent to the babysitter. So when the childs are going to the babysitter, but of course some who send the children to the grandparents already, they are considered fortunate. But imagine when a person sends to babysitter. So what's the point having a child when you can't even look after, but sending to the babysitter? So these kind of things, because today's the condition is because we are already thinking that we are modernization. Okay, we need to have two income to survive in this material world. Actually, one income is sufficient. But why we need to have two income? Because we have the thing called greed. We want to enjoy more than our capacity. So, and when this thing happens, the longing and greed will arise. All right, the greed will arise. So that the husband and wife both need to work. And after work, part-time, they still need to go out and do some kind of part-time business and do some like multi-level marketing or insurance or all this. They have to work extra just to maintain. So I used to say, to be successful is not a big deal. Anybody can be a successful. But to maintain that success is the hardest thing. So once you have come up, you've made it big. So once to maintain that success, a person has to work extremely hard. Extremely hard. Huh? Like yesterday night, I went for a walk. I went for a Japa walk after sending my child to tuition. So I was at this polo ground. In Ipoh, there's a place called Polo Ground. So I'll be there every Monday. Tuesday, I've got Namahat. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I'll go there and I'll be chanting. And yesterday, one thing I noticed, the majority of the person who runs at night, okay, because I go for chanting, walking, but I see people are jogging, polo ground in Ipoh. So I see majority of them, actually 90%, 95% of them, all ladies. I hardly see men. One or two men are running. But basically all ladies are running because after hard work from work, they come there to release the tension and they start running at 7, 8 o'clock, even 9 o'clock, they're running. They are doing exercising and everything. And how wonder if their mother, how the child is taken care. So this is another thing that's going to give us a big trouble. So let's look at what is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's opinion and what does he mean by Laulyam and why this Laulya will destroy our bhakti. The meaning of the word Laulya is restlessness. Okay, please underline. Okay, what is the meaning? First of all, the meaning of the Laulya is number one is called restlessness, greed, and desire. So restlessness, greed, and desire. Restlessness. Okay, now see, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is real scientist. He's breaking up this thing. So now he start with this thing, restlessness. He is of two kinds. All right. So now the restlessness of the mind, right, and the restlessness of the intelligence. Look at that. So we have restlessness. Now he's comparing restlessness of the mind and restlessness of the intelligence. The chitta. Oh, sorry. What happened? Okay. Okay. The chitta. Okay. Chitta. That means or mind. Chitta means or mind. Okay. Has the propensity of following the dictates of the senses. All right. So that means now we understand. Okay. Now what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, the chitta or the mind has the propensity for following the dictates of the senses. So when the eyes want to see, when dictates, the mind will follow. Yes. The ears want to listen, the mind will follow. So the mind acts according to the dictation of the senses. So how many senses do we have? We have 5 senses, eyes, nose, and everything. And we have 5 working senses, voice, hand, leg, genital, and anus. Then we have 5 knowledge acquiring senses. So like that, total we have, 5 senses, 5 working senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses. All right, we have this, there is the total of 15 varieties. Okay, but when the mind follows, but then he says, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going, but when the mind follows the dictates. Okay, dictates na what we say in Tamil? கட்டளை. Okay, மனம் வந்து புலன்கள் கட்டளை மூலியமாக நடந்து கொள்கிறது. புலன்கள்ல இந்திரியங்கள் மூலியமாக நம்ம மனசு நடைபெறுது. Alright? So that means when the mind follows the dictates of the senses and becomes absorbed in a particular subject, attachment or aversion arises. Can you see this word? Please underline this. Alright? So what Bhaktivinoda Thakura is mentioning, when the mind follows the dictation of the senses and after that become absorbed. Alright? You become absorbed in that particular subject. So attachment or aversion arise. Example, when the mind says, okay, when the eye says, I want to see something big, and the ear says, I want to listen to something nice. Okay, therefore, after mind and ears discuss, they say, okay, let's go for a cinema. And the mind says, let's do it. They go to the cinema. So once they go for a movie, it's a big screen, the eyes wide open, and the ears are enjoying this thing. So by doing, when we become absorbed in that particular subject, in that movie, attachment or aversion arise. For example, after the movie ends, when you go out, you feel like a zombie. You feel like walking into a different world. When the light is on, you come out, you think about it, recently there was one movie came out, like a soldier movie from India, South India. What is that movie? So people came out crying. They came out crying watching that movie. A soldier who went and fought in Kashmir and eventually died. All right, he died. And suddenly, in the YouTube I saw people are walking out crying, and they go back home. They are so and my friend was telling, after get back home, both husband and wife don't even feel like, because they are so much sad. They become so sad. At night they think about it, and after that next day they go to the Facebook and they start to comment about it. Yes, it's a fantastic movie. The soldier is this, and this guy who acted, I think his name is Sivakarthikeyan. He acted so nicely. The girl acted so nicely. And they will keep talking and talking and talking. People are attached for at least 1-2 weeks. Right? They have begun talking about it. They just think about it. And after that, they feel, let's go for a round 2, watching the same thing again. So that's the thing called attachment. So once the thing becomes attached, imagine at that particular moment, if the death comes, what will happen? Right? You'll be thinking about the movie and end up, maybe you're born in Kashmir, or maybe you're born in India, become a soldier. If you're lucky enough. If you're unlucky, finish. Maybe you'll go to the theater and become a rat or whatever. Okay, not you, I'm just giving an analogy. So that's why very important. So all these are very dangerous. So now we understand, when the senses dictates, the mind follows, and when the mind follows, and they're through that mind and become absorbed into one particular subject, that thing will create a attachment aversion. Therefore, restlessness of the mind is also of 2 types. Now, the restlessness of the mind. So now we talk about restlessness. All right, it's got 2. That means mind and intelligence. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining the restlessness of the mind. Now he's breaking the restlessness of mind into 2. That is, restlessness due to attachment and restlessness due to aversion. Okay, let's look at this. What he gives. So now, number 1, in Bhagavad Gita 2.67, it is said, Indriyanam hi charatam yan mano nu vidiyate tat asya harati pranyam vayur navam ivam basi. As the boat of the water is swept away by a strong wind. Imagine the boat that you don't tie. Because of like tsunami comes, it can swept away. That means that we see the boat is going because they forgot to tie the thing on the shore. Okay, just like as a boat of the water is swept away by a strong wind, even one of the roaming senses. So what the word says, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away man's intelligence. Are you all following me on this? Do you understand what I said? Right? This is a very important subject. Okay, Now let me go into detail because this is what we went quite detailed in our Gita Gyan. All right, now let's look at this. Now, just like the boat in the water swept away, right? Pulled away, pushed away. How? Through the strong wind. But here Krishna says, even one of his roaming senses. That means even one. What does that mean? Okay, we have how many senses? We got 5 senses. We got eyes, we got nose, we got tongue, we got ears, and we got touch. If any of these 5, even one, the eyes attracted to something, others are okay, but your eyes, woo, going. So even one of the senses, one of the roaming senses, who roams? Okay, people say, you know, where are you roaming? That means roaming means the destination without the journey without destination. I got a journey, and because I got a destination, but you don't have a destination, simply go around, we call that roaming. Right? Sometimes at night, you know, we see, okay, we are just tired. Okay, let's husband and wife. Why not we just go drive, take a drive to town, just roam and come back. That means there's no destination, simply a journey. Like that, our intelligence start to roam. All right. When that roaming, if you allow that intelligence, I mean that one of the senses roam. Okay, and Krishna says, all right, even if one of the roaming senses on which, when the mind start to focus, can carry away, it just simply carry away man's intelligence. All that intelligence can get carried away. Again, in Bhagavad Gita, it's mentioned here, right? 3.34, it says, Indriya Shendriya Yastarte Raga Dvesho Vyavastito Tayor na Vasham Agache Tauyasya Paripantino. These, there are principle, that means there is principle to regulate attachment and aversion. All right, pertaining, that means linking to sense and their object. All right, so there's a regulation. Okay, there's a regulation, attachment, regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their object. So one should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion. All right, because they are stumbling blocks in the path of self-realization. Okay, are you all following me in this? Just give me a second. Let me get this word. All right. So like that. Okay. Now the thing is, now do any one of you, what does it mean by aversion? Anyone knows what is aversion?
Dislike, Prabhu.
Dislike, okay. Right, correct. So, but here the aversion means also can refer to strong feeling of dislike, not an ordinary dislike. Strong feeling of dislike, opposition or repulsion towards something or someone, repulsion against something or someone, right? All right. So, example, when someone has an aversion to something, it means they tend to avoid or feel uncomfortable or even repulsed by it, right? So that's the thing. So now we see here. So there's a principle how to regulate attachment and aversion, dislike, okay, strong dislike, pertaining its senses, because these both are stumbling block in the path of self-realization. So now, in order to regulate Laulyam, so in order to regulate Laulyam in the form of restlessness of the mind, one has to take shelter of the goddess Bhakti Devi. Let's look at that. So who we should take shelter? One has to take shelter of the goddess Bhakti Devi. Who's Bhakti Devi? Okay. Who is goddess Bhakti Devi? Anyone? Yes.
Tulsi
Come on,
Maharani.
speak up. Exactly. Tulsi Maharani. Tulsi Maharani is a Bhakti Devi. So if we have a stumbling block in the part, okay, that means in order to regulate Laulyam, that means we have to take what they call it, Laulyam, in the form of restlessness of the mind. When the mind becomes so restless, so he has to take shelter of the goddess of Bhakti Devi, right? So in the instruction of Bhakti Devi, the instruction of Bhakti Devi is this, okay? Now let's look at that. The instruction of Tulsi Maharani. The instructions of Bhakti Devi is this. When, please underline, when the cause of mind's restlessness is sense gratification, and this restlessness is the main obstacle in the practice of devotional service, then all sensual activities should be dovetailed in the service of the Lord. And attachment to sense gratification should be transformed into attachment to the Lord. Okay? So, when the cause of the mind's restlessness, is because of sense gratification. Because our mind is agitated, because we want to enjoy ourselves. Sense gratification. Not enough. I want more. All right? It reminds me about once, I think my son or my daughter, we went, there's a place that was selling lassi, mango lassi. After they drink the mango lassi, they say, not enough, I want more. I say, enough, it's so thick. No. After they took the second round, they puked. They threw out. All right. So that means the restlessness of sense gratification, the sense gratification, they want it so badly. Right? And this restlessness is the main obstacle. This is the main obstacle. It is the main obstacle, okay, in the practice of devotional service. Okay. Then therefore, all sensual activity should be, all right, should be, there's another word, should be what? Dovetailed. Everything should be directed in the service of the Lord. And the attachment to sense gratification should be transformed into attachment to Krishna. Okay. Then what happens? If you do that, then the mind will become fixed in devotional service by taking shelter of the attachment. So now, Bhakti Devi is mentioning, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining. That means when we do that, when we dovetail all our sense gratification to the service of the Lord, all right, and that's attachment to that sense gratification transform into attachment for the Lord, what will happen? The mind becomes fixed in devotional service. Okay, and here the wonderful thing that he's mentioning here is this: taking shelter of that attachment. Before that, we talk about attachment, right? Before that, we spoke about attachment that creates, the attachment that creates trouble. Then attachment we offer to Krishna. So then the same attachment, okay, by taking shelter of this attachment, all right, the mind will become fixed on devotional service. Okay, are you all following me this? If you please put a thumbs up if you understand what I'm saying. If you don't understand, please ask me a question. All understand?
Yes, Prabhu, we understand. I understand.
Good. That's the way. Unmute and just pick up. Okay, good. See, it reminds me about in Canto 1, Srimad Bhagavatam. I am not sure which chapter, I think chapter 5 or something like that. In one of the purport, Srila Prabhupada explained. He said, now we are all under the grip of Maya, Mahamaya. Yes or not? We are under the grip of this illusion. But once we are very sincerely worship the Lord, even this Mahamaya that deludes us will turn into Yoga Maya and elevate us to and give us that opportunity to go back to Godhead. So that's one of the things. So I hope one day when we start to study Bhagavatam, that is one of the purpose that we should relish. So that means that now we understand from here, the attachment that's going to create trouble for you, if that attachment you offer it to Krishna, and that attachment will make you fix in devotional service, and the mind will become more calm. Okay. The eyes, the ears, okay. The eyes, ears, nose and tongue and sense of touch are called knowledge acquiring senses, right? So you all get it? So that means the eyes see the object. We learn through the eyes. We learn through the ears. We learn through the nose. We learn through the tongue and the thing. So 5 senses and 5 knowledge acquiring senses is called the eyes, ears, nose, tongue and sense of touch is called knowledge acquiring senses. Then after that, the hands, legs and anus. The hand, legs and anus and so on are the working senses. That means the hand, legs, anus and the voice. 5 working senses. Right? These are called the 5 working senses. Right? Then when the object of all these senses are associated with devotional mood, when all these objects of all senses, that means the working senses and knowledge acquiring senses, when both are associated in devotional mood, then the mind becomes fixed on the Lord. Can you see that? Isn't that fantastic? That means when we read this, we also understand the Bhagavad Gita under this topic. So that means there are 5 knowledge acquiring senses, then 5 working senses. But when these two, you combine it and associate it with devotional mood, the eye see Krishna, the nose smells the flower, the tongue, we only utilize it for tasting prasadam and glorifying the devotee and the Lord. And of course, when all these things, we associate it, then the mind becomes fixed on the Lord. Okay, now, taste, form, smell, touch, and sound. Okay, these are the objects of the senses. These are the objects of the senses. Okay, one has to arouse the mood of devotion. Okay, one has to arouse. What is arouse means? To develop. What kind of development is this? All right, when do we use the word arouse? When we become lusty. Right? When we become lusty. Sometimes when we watch something, when suddenly one nonsense scene comes in, our lust arouse. So suddenly when we are like for instance, I remember when my son was young, he was very naughty. So sometimes to punish him, I take him to KFC and put him inside and close the door. He go into like hysterical. No, take me out from here. I cannot stand here. So that at once when I did that, I took my son, I put him inside the KFC and closed the door. Oh, please don't take me out. He cried and created a big scene. And my friend was there. And he asked, hey, what are you doing? Why your son crying like this? No, I'm punishing him. Punishing him? By putting into KFC? Yes. I told, if you're naughty, I throw you into KFC. Why? No, because he's a vegetarian. So, oh my God. He said, if my daughter, my son and daughter, whenever they see an advertisement in the TV, Kentucky Fried Chicken, finger licking good, when the thing comes, immediately the what they call the desire to eat KFC will arouse in the child. And after that, hell break loose. The child will beg the father, please take me, I want KFC now. So such a big headache. That's why I think that now that's why there's no advertisement in KFC or this kind of advertisement. Because I think it's part of that prohibition. So like that. So that means arousal happens when we see something that we're really excited about. All right. So when we say it's become a normal arousal. But now Bhaktivinoda Thakura said that one has to arouse. So that means you have to make it arouse the mood of devotion. All right. In all these objects and enjoy them. Okay. All right. So we have to arouse the mood of devotion in all these objects and enjoy them. Then devotional service is cultivated. Among the objects, okay, among the objects of senses, aversion should be applied. Now, okay, among the objects of the senses, aversion, strong dislike, should be applied on any that which is unfavorable for devotional service. All right? And attachment, all right, should be applied on any that part favorable for devotion. Okay? So that means what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining here. Among the objects of the senses, aversion, strong dislike should be applied on any that are unfavorable for devotional service. Anything that is not favorable for devotional service, create an aversion. All right, I hate this. I have strong dislike. Right, this thing. But the attachment, then after that, the attachment should be applied to things that are favorable for devotional service. Anything that favorable, create attachment. Anything that is not favorable, create aversion. But until the restlessness of the intelligence is vanquished, all right, until the restlessness of the intelligence is vanquished, totally destroyed, how will the restlessness of the mind can be checked? How? Rupa Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is asking the question, how will the restlessness of the mind can be checked? How can we check that? Okay, until the restlessness of the intelligence vanquish, totally out, then how can the restlessness of the mind can be checked? So when the restlessness of the intelligence is vanquished, okay, the intelligence is vanquished, right? The restlessness, okay, the mind can regulate attachment and aversion. Okay, you all are following me on this? So that means what we understand from here, until the restlessness of the mind checked and controlled, that's why intelligence is vanquished, until the restlessness of intelligence is vanquished. What is that intelligence? Huh? So the mind says the senses are getting purified. The working senses, the leg, the hand, and the mind, along with the mind, they decide, let's take a drive to temple. Today is Sunday, let's go for Sunday program. So they take a drive. Okay, let's do it. But the intelligence says, come on, la. Sunday is your family day, la. Let's go and do something else. Let's go to the town. There's a lot of interesting things happening. Let's go to the shopping center. There's some new something is like getting launched. Huh? Or let's go to the cinema. Or let's eat out. Why go and pray? Come on, Sunday you want to pray. Ayyo, really? The intelligence is getting restless. The intelligence is telling why? Why you need to pray on Sunday? It's your family day, holiday. You know, after 5 days of slogging, 6 days of slogging, Sunday is your day, la. No need, la. You know, so agitation of the mind, agitations of the intelligence. So the intelligence will start to give you agitation. So until you can get rid of the intelligence, agitation of the intelligence, the mind cannot become, the mind cannot be restful. It will always be restless. The mind says yes, what you say so makes sense. But the senses says no, you are aroused, you dictate by my command. The intelligence, the mind, the senses says you are under my command. But the intelligence says go and enjoy life. The mind is in dilemma. The mind becomes confused already. You don't know what to do. Whether to go and enjoy yourself or to go to temple and worship God. Right? And sometimes the mind also says, well, the intelligence says, okay, you want to go to temple, is okay. But at least have some fun. Go during lunchtime. So you don't need to listen to the lengthy lecture. That's why you see in ISKCON centers, during that kirtan lecture, there will be less people. When it comes prasadam time, suddenly you see a huge crowd is there. Wonder from where this crowd came from. Especially when you are giving a talk, you are sitting in front of you, only few people are talking. Then suddenly during prasadam time, you didn't see all these guys. Where these guys came from? All right, the intelligence says, don't need to listen to the lecture. La. The highlight of Sunday program, what we call Sunday feast. Right? So the feast is, so the highlight is just during the lunchtime, go and whack nicely. Nice prasadam, eat nicely to the throat, you see. Then after that, give some excuses and run away. Go back home. All right? So that's the thing. So this is the things that always usually happen. All right. So, then mind can, so when until the intelligence is vanquished, the mind can never, what they call, become. The mind can regulate, okay? Right? When checked, the mind becomes calm. That's when the mind can regulate attachment and aversion for sense objects by the strength of the intelligence. Because now the intelligence is purified. Okay? Right, now it's 10 o'clock. Shall we just take a short break? All right, now it's 10:06. Just take a short break. So just try to grasp everything that you have understood. Okay. Now it's 10:06. Just take another 2 minutes, 10:08 or 10:09. Come back. Okay. Take a short break. Hare Krishna. All right. So we continue. So, okay. Now, the intelligent is that which discriminates. The intelligent is that which discriminates between the mind's good and bad propensities. Okay, please underline this thing. The intelligent is the one that make the discrimination between the mind's good and the mind's bad propensity. So that intelligent is also of two types. Now let's look at that. Also two types of intelligent. One is resolute, that means very determined, and second is many branched. Resolute and many branched, right? These one type of resolute intelligent, and there's another, there are unlimited types of many branched intelligent. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.41. Vya vasa yatmika buddhir ekeha kuru nandana bahushaka hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayina. Those who are, that means those who are on the spiritual path are resolute in purpose. That means when a person in spiritual path, that means we are under the path of spirituality, to spirit, that means to understand myself, understand things around us, they are got a resolute purpose. And their aim is one. Because there's resolute, one. Oh, beloved child of Gurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. Right? They have many branched. So disturbance, okay, now the disturbance, okay, what are the disturbances? As lust, desire to attain the heavenly planet, increasing the activities that produce enjoyment and opulence, and at the same time rejection of the spiritual world, all arise from many branched intelligence of irresolute person. Therefore, okay, so what we can understand from this verse here, very nice. I mean, those who are under the spiritual path, their resolution is one, only one resolution. There cannot be many resolution, right? There's only resolute. Resolution is, that means, resolution means you are committing to that thought. But resolute means only one. Okay? So, and the aim is one. So that means the intelligence of those who are irresolute, that means they don't have that kind of resolute. That means they don't have that one kind of determination. They have many wavering intelligence. All right? Example is like disturbance. That means we are disturbed through the lust. Then second is desire. We have a desire to attain heavenly planet. Then increasing activity that produces enjoyment or opulence. So I increase my activity that can increase my enjoyment and increase my opulence, means richness. All right. And at the same time, when I want to do that, then this kind of spiritual life is going to be a biggest hindrance. Yes or not? Because in spiritual life says, be calm and enjoy, be happy with whatever you have. That is primitive. I want to become a multi-millionaire. I want to have 10 houses. I want to have 20 cars. Right? I want to have many girlfriends. I want to enjoy life. Right? I want to buy many tons of gold. So that means what they'll do, they will reject the kind of way of life. Okay? So that means enjoyment, opulence, and rejection of the spiritual world. All these things arises because of many branched intelligence of irresolute person. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita 2.44, it stated, Bhogaya Aishvarya Prashaktanam Taya Partha Chetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadhav na Vidiyate. If the mind of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment, in the mind of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence. Okay, those people who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, they are who are bewildered by such things. The resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Personality God does not take place. That means the resolute determination will not take place. Those whose intelligence at the same time, those whose intelligence is fixed in samadhi. What is samadhi means? It's not that death samadhi. Samadhi means in trance. That means you're very determined. That's what you want. Fixed, right? Are transcendentally situated and have steady minds. These are the people called they have steady minds. The symptoms are given in Bhagavad Gita 255-56 as follows. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogata atmanya evat mana tushta stita pranyas tado chate dukkeshvanu vignamana sukeshu vigata spraha vitaraga baya krodha stitadir muni uchyate. So what is the symptoms of these people? Baya, krodha and all this. Okay, now it says, O son of the Supreme Person of God, it says, O son of, O Pratha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, that means they want it through the mental concoction, all the desires arise, and when his mind thus purified, okay, finds, these are the people find satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. He is in pure. One who is not disturbed, in mind, even amidst of threefold miseries. Okay, that means those whose mind is not disturbed, even in the midst of threefold, that means the midst of all this kind of environment, threefold miseries. That means the miseries that arises from the mind, the misery that arises from environment and also other living entities. Okay, they are not disturbed or elated when there is happiness. That means they get excited even when there's happiness come. First, they are not disturbed when there's suffering, and they are excited when there's happiness. Who is free from attachment, fear, and anger? Okay, who are free from attachment of fear and anger. These are the people called the sage of steady mind. They are known as the sage of steady mind. These two verses from Gita clarify the process of tolerating urges of speech, mind, and anger, as recommended in the first verse of Sri Upadesha. Intelligence. Okay, now there's intelligence, there's two types. Now it should be known that there are two types of intelligence. The propensity to discriminate. Okay, the propensity to discriminate. That means we can able to make the difference between good and bad under the dictation of the mind. Under the dictation of the mind is called mundane intelligence. Okay, and the intelligence is discriminate between good and bad under the dictation of the soul is called spiritual intelligence. Wow. Do you understand what I've said? Yes, Vivan Prabhu.
No,
You raised your
Prabhu.
hand.
No, Harishna Prabhu, no, Prabhu. Because there's a difference of propensity and intelligence, Prabhu. This one is the same word, but the propensity and intelligence, they make it different. I don't know what is they talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay, now let's look at this. Okay, let me erase all these things. Right, now let's look at this. Now it should be known there are two types of what? Intelligence. Okay, there's two types. The first type, that means the propensity to discriminate. You know what is discriminate means? That means you can choose. That means discriminate. That means discrimination means I have the ability to select among many. That's called discriminate. You have to discriminate between good and bad. That means you have to really choose. right? Of course, there's another word of discrimination. Like, for instance, I give this floor one and the floor I don't give. Okay, so far you understand this, Vivan? The discriminate.
This
The
one,
discrimination.
this one understandable.
Okay, good. So the propensity, that means the ability to discriminate, to choose, I mean, to discriminate between what? Good and bad. By what? Under the dictation of the mind. Okay, through the dictation. You know what is dictation? That means through the instruction of the mind. So far, so good.
Okay, bro. Now
It's
can.
called mundane intelligence. It's called mundane intelligence or useless intelligence. Mundane. Why? Because the dictation is done through the mind to discriminate good and bad. So far, you understand this?
Understand,
That
bro.
means you're using the
Understand.
mind to make the discrimination between good and bad. Okay? This is called mundane. So far, this phrase, do you understand?
Okay, bro. Now I can understand you.
Okay. You understand or don't understand?
Understand, bro. Dictation and mind, dictation of the soul. Okay.
No, you don't worry about the soul first. You talk about mind now.
Okay.
All right. See, there's a two types of intelligence. One, the dictation or the dictation in, okay, we speak in normal English. The decision from the mind or the process of that information through the mind. Okay. All right. Which is called, that means we process that information using the mind to discriminate, to select between good and bad is considered mundane. Mundane, you know what is mundane intelligence, right?
What's the meaning of that, Prabhu? Mundane?
Mundane, all right.
Mundane,
Mundane,
please
useless.
explain.
Mundane means useless. Okay, let me check the dictionary. I'll get you the correct information. Mundane meaning. Mundane means refers to something that is ordinary, everyday, or commonplace. That is connection to being dull, uninteresting, lacking of excitement. Frida, who asked that question?
Yeah, but then the mind is selecting good and bad. Oh, then how you say mundane?
Do you understand what is mundane?
Yeah, I understand, but why?
Mundane means which is dull, which is ordinary.
Useless? Ordinary. Oh.
Ordinary. Okay. Now, so now here, Bhaktivinoda Thakura is explaining the dictation. That means the instruction from the mind to discriminate between good and bad is called mundane, dull intelligence. Okay, Mataji? Are you there? Is she there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, you got that idea?
Yes.
Okay, that means anything that comes from the mind, it is called, anything that comes from the mind, it is mundane. Sharia?
Okay.
Okay, now let's look at next one. But now let's look at the next one. But the intelligence to discriminate, between good and bad under the dictation of the soul. That means you are taking this discrimination from the soul. Okay, it's called spiritual intelligence. You got it? What is the difference? Because the mind is under. Okay, can you think why there's a difference? Can anyone tell me? Let's see.
Paramatma, Prabhu. Paramatma dictation is spiritual intelligence, and then the agitation of the mind. Sometimes the mind will collecting so many sorts of experience.
So why? What is mind and what is spirit?
What is mind? What is spirit?
What is mind? What is soul?
Mind is still material components.
Exactly. Because the mind is still under the material concept.
Yes, Prabhu.
Because it's under the subtle body. Yes or not?
Yes, Prabhu.
We have a gross body and subtle body, and the mind is one of the subtle body, which is material, right? So because anything that material thing, what the thing they can conceive is only material stuff. So when we try to make a distinction between the good and bad using the mind, is still mundane, which is so dull, because it is still under the influence of material nature. But the intelligent or discrimination that good and bad, which is dictated through the soul, is called, because the soul is spiritual, right? Is called spiritual intelligence. So in other words, what we can understand from here, when we are practicing spiritual life, we are coming to our constitutional position. Do you understand? What is that constitutional position? That means we are overcoming our material concept, and we are going to the original idea, that constitutional position that you are a spirit soul. You got it, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
Not
Prabhu.
clear, Prabhu.
Now clear?
Very
Now,
clear.
see, that's why the Bhakti. So when we start to read a lot of things, then we try to quote, okay, see what he says. So it's correct, right? So that means because that is material and this is spiritual. This is constitutional. Spiritual intelligence is constitutional. And that's why it is the perfect medicine. Okay? That's constitutional. That means through the understanding to the soul. Okay? Now, okay, good. Now, in
Thank you,
324.
Vivan. Prabhu, sorry. Thank you, Vivan,
Yes.
for asking this question.
No, thank you. Actually, even these kind of questions actually, even that's why the more question you ask, the more we go deeper
Yeah.
into it.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, Prabhu.
So now 342. Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya parangmanaha manasastu parabuddhir yo buddhe paratastu saha. Is it recording? Have I clicked recording? Oh, okay, it's under recording. All right, I got worried. So the working senses now. The working senses. What is working senses? The leg, the hand, leg, voice, anus, and genital. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Okay? The working senses are superior to dull matter or mundane matter. Mind is higher than the senses. The mind is higher than the senses because all the senses are gross. The mind is subtle. Okay? If you don't understand, please stop me. Okay, mind is higher than the senses because the senses work under the dictation of the mind's propensity. Okay? Again, what it says here, the working senses are superior to dull matter. Okay, dull matter means the nature and everything, because now our senses at least is moving compared to the matter which is not moving, right? It's superior. The mind is higher than the senses. The mind is higher than the senses. Why? Because the senses work under the dictation of the mind. The mind gives instruction. That means the mind is working above. I mean, the senses are working under the mind's propensity. Or, in other words, the senses work under the mind's department. Okay, the mind is a department head. The senses are the staffs at the bottom. Okay, now, then, intelligence is still higher than the mind. Right? So intelligence is still higher than the mind because the intelligence is the propensity of the soul. That means the intelligence is the propensity of the soul. Therefore, therefore, master of the mind. Therefore, it is the master of the mind. Right? Then the soul is even higher than the intelligence. Okay, you all got it? Okay, now
So,
let's look at this. Yes, Prabhu.
yes, Prabhu. Yes, can get it.
Working senses. Okay, there is a working senses. What is higher than the working senses? Okay, working senses is superior to dull matter. So first below there is dull. dull matter. Dull matter means the material matter, the what they call the material thing like stone and everything is dull, right? And what is above the working senses? Higher than, okay, the mind is higher, okay? Above that is mind, okay? The mind is higher than the working senses. Then above the mind is intelligence. Above the mind is intelligence. Okay, for intelligence is still higher than the mind, and what is above that intelligence? It is okay. The last is the soul. That's this thing. So this is the hierarchy. Okay, so the hierarchy is like this. Okay, right. Okay, the dull, okay, working senses is higher, and this is higher than working senses is the mind. Higher than the mind is intelligent, and of course, everything higher is the soul. All right, you got it? You got it?
Yes, bro.
Okay, now the intelligent also perverted. The intelligent also perverted. Perverted means what? Corrupted. The intelligent, which is supposed to be spiritual, is also corrupted. Why? Because sometimes it accepts materialism as only when under the control of the false ego. Because the mind can accept intelligence pervertedly accepts materialism. Sometimes when our intelligence becomes perverted, we can even accept materialism. We can be materialistic. Okay, when under the control of false ego. So there's another propensity here. Mind, intelligence, and the last one is false ego, or we call ahankar. All right. The false ego start to control them. The false ego start to control the intelligence. That's when the mind, all right. So that means the intelligence becomes perverted. Okay. So now, when when under the control of the pure ego. So what happened when we are under the control of a pure ego, not the false ego, the pure ego? What happened? Under the control of pure ego, in the form of identifying oneself as a servant of Krishna. So when we start to identify ourselves as a servant of Krishna, we are under the pure ego or the real ego. If not, when we say that we are out of that clutches of Krishna, is false ego. When we identify ourselves as a servant of Krishna, the real constitutional position, we are known as the pure ego, the real ego. Then the intelligence is always naturally pure. That's when the intelligence becomes naturally pure. Okay. Therefore, Vedas established that knower of the body is intelligent. Okay. They established that the knower of the body is intelligent. The spirit soul, yes, we will.
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, now I just want to ask you, okay, regarding to the when under the pure ego, the form identify oneself as a servant of Krishna. So intelligence is always naturally pure. But sometimes we have ourselves, especially myself, okay, we are servant of Krishna only, but we are not servant of the disciple of this particular Guru or this particular Krishna devotees, Prabhu. So that one's can we say that one is a false ego, or say that one is a true ego, Prabhu? So our context shall be servant of Krishna or servant of the servant Krishna, Prabhu.
Because of course, when you want to be a servant of Krishna, if you want to be a servant of Krishna, how you can be a servant of Krishna, right? If you want to serve people, you have to work in the government department as a government servant. You need to have an organization to work in order to serve someone, yes or not?
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
similarly, if you want to serve Krishna, how are you going to serve Krishna? Who's going to give you information about Krishna? So
Devo-
naturally, that's why it's called pure intelligence, because the pure intelligence means what? The pure intelligence. So that means, what do you call, where is it? Okay, this is the intelligent, it is naturally pure. That means the naturally pure intelligence means when we come to the level that you know, that means you start to acquire knowledge how to serve Krishna. So when we start to identify oneself as a servant of Krishna, and how are you going to serve Krishna? Say, like for instance, if you get a job, right, as a waiter to the king, example, right? So now I got a job to be a waiter for the king. I'm working in the palace. So is that mean I'm directly serving king? No, I am under the control of butler, the head waiter, right? And I'm under the control of supervisor. There is an organization as the waiter that serves the king. Similarly, there's an organization of servant of Krishna. But first of all, we identify self. Yes, I am the servant of Krishna. But I am under which organization? Who is my supervisor? Who is my immediate supervisor? Who is my immediate manager? Right? Your immediate supervisor is your senior devotees. And your immediate manager, it's your Siksha Guru. Your immediate director, it is your spiritual master, Diksha Guru. All right? And through this process, we are all trying to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is how? By serving the servant of the servant of the servant of Radharani. All right? First is Radharani, then we have a Saki. There's a confidential friends, Saki friends. Then after that, we talk about Manjari. And below Manjari, there's a Gopis. Like that, we have Rajas. And all these people are there. All are serving directly. But the ultimate, the one who serves directly to Krishna is Srimati Radharani. But we are trying to serve. And who assists Srimati Radharani? Sakis. And who assists Sakis? Manjaris. And who assists Manjaris? Like that, there is a hierarchy. And we are trying to link somewhere in between. But what is that goal? In which organization we are involved? The organization of serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we are in which department? We don't know. You got it, Vivan?
Okay, bro. Can, bro. Can, bro.
Can means what? You don't understand.
Understand, bro. Understand.
Sure. Am
Yes,
I
bro.
clear?
Yes, bro. Yes, bro.
So that means when we try to identify, that means the intelligent always naturally pure means, that means once we identify ourselves as the eternal servant of Krishna, that is that pure intelligence. But we are in which department? That is called Swarupa Siddhi. And how do you going to find your Swarupa Siddhi? When you are in that pure, what they call? When you are in pure ego. Once you start to identify yourself, then you become so distinct. That's when you will identify your eternal nature. Who are you in spiritual world? Like for instance, okay, because I can't recall Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Okay, like Rupa Goswami. His natural form is Rupa Manjari. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is what? Lavanga Manjari. I think Lavanga Manjari is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So they have their Swarupa Siddhi, their original form. And you also can find out when you become perfect. You got it? Like for instance, Prabhupada came and revealed the Swarupa Siddhi of Aindra Prabhu. Aindra Prabhu is one of that Sakis. So one of the Sakis or something like that, or Manjaris, one of that gopis or something like that. Someone asked him, after he got the dream, he was very grave. Someone asked him, you are surrounded by so many beautiful girls, all young girls, because it's a kirtaniya and all young people attract to kirtan. All come and having so much of fun. Aren't you attracted to them? And you know what he said? Why should I be attracted to them when I am even more beautiful than them? He's trying to reveal his original self. As a gopi, he is far more prettier than any of the girls around. Why should I be attracted to them when I'm more prettier than them? You understand? Even?
Yes, bro. Understand.
So that is when we have come under this level of naturally pure intelligence. சரியா? Good question. Everyone understands our conversation. Who don't understand what we spoke? Vivian and I spoke something. If anyone of you don't understand what we spoke? Okay. If you understand, please thumbs up. That's much easier. All right. Who's thumbs up? Vivian, of course, you understand.
Understood.
Oh, great. All right. Oh, most of you understand. Great. Wonderful. All right. So the spirit soul is higher than intelligence. Okay. So that means the spirit soul is higher than intelligence. Can you see or not? The intelligence and the spirit soul. Spirit soul is higher than intelligence because the intelligence is only the propensity, only the soul's propensity. So now we are talking about subtle body, gross body, subtle body. We got 5 working senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Then we have 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 distinct. So 15. The body is made of 5 elements, 20. Then after that we have 3 subtle form, which is made of false ego, intelligent mind. So total are 23. Then we have extra 1 pradhana. That means the 3 mode of material nature. So we are made of 24 elements. This entire material creation, right? But deep inside there, there's a thing called soul. And what is soul? The soul's only propensity is intelligence. Wait, what's happening here? Okay. So the soul's only intelligence. So when the living entity realizes, himself, how? As a pure spiritual particle, then his spiritual ego in the form of identifying himself as the servant of Krishna naturally arises. You got it? So all these things are naturally arises. Okay? Are you all following me on this? So when the living entity realizes himself as a pure spiritual particle, his spiritual ego or the form of identifying himself as servant of Krishna naturally arises. At that time, the intelligence in its pure form, what happened? It rejects materialism and accepts spiritualism. That's when the same mind that has been polluted, the same intelligence that has been polluted in this material world for so long, now once the thing becomes pure, it will reject the materialism and accept spiritualism. Right? Then, at that time, the living entity has no desire other than the service of Krishna. We have seen so many people, even from a background of being a very rich family, right? They give up everything just to become a servant of Krishna. Like there's one Prabhupada disciple. He just wrote a book on Dancing White Elephant. What is his name?
Giriraj Swami, I think so. Giriraj, right?
Giriraj Swami. He is the son of a multi-millionaire. The father came to him and met Prabhupada. And he gave $1 million check to Prabhupada and told him, release my son. He's a very successful lawyer. He gave $1 million check to the Prabhupada. He says, give back my son. And he says, I don't need your money, but take your son if he wants to follow you. Then he told, I give you $1 million for you. Spend as you wish. Please come back, my son. And the son says no. He says, I'm very happy here. Can you see what happened when the pure intelligence arises? So how did the pure intelligence arises? By the mercy of a spiritual master. When we are serving the spiritual master very, very sincerely, that's when the pure intelligence arises. So at that time, living entity has no desire other than service to Krishna. And he rejects material desire as an insignificant. Right? He said, the money that you're going to give me, that is nothing. So in this position, the living entity is known as, at this position, they are known as Sthita Pranya. All right, Sthita Pranya, or transcendentally situated, or Sthita Dihi, steady minded, being empowered by spiritual potency. That means being empowered, all right, by spiritual potency. The intelligence then becomes steady and controls the mind and heart by regulating them. Then the mind, under the direction of intelligence, that means now the mind under the direction of intelligence controls the senses by regulating them, and then favorable mood is devotionally manifest, right, through the sense objects or indriyasya artha. So that means, in other words, what happened? Now we reverse this thing now. Right now, we put a green color. So now what happened? So now, through the things of the soul, all right, the soul's natural potency, the intelligence becomes purified. Okay. Now, what happened? Through the soul, the intelligence becomes purified. And through the purified intelligence, that means the mind becomes pacified. And through that, the senses become purified. Okay. The sense become favorable. So once the sense become favorable, and that is called, that's when the favorable mood to devotional service manifests. You got it? And still we're going to use the same sense object. Eyes, nose, the same thing that what we have. Okay? We're going to use this for highest perfection in engaging and achieving success in Bhakti. Okay? Now you got the idea? Okay, now. So this is called Indriya Nigraha, or the controlling the senses in devotional service. Please highlight this word or underline this word in your book. Controlling the senses in devotional service. Right? So that's why you say, sometimes when you get a higher taste, the mundane taste will go away. Now we understand how the process happens. Right? Whatever arrangement are there for controlling the senses in the path of dry knowledge. Right? Dry knowledge. Dry means like material knowledge. And renunciate does not properly control the senses. Right? So whatever arrangement are there for controlling the senses in the path of dry knowledge. What is dry knowledge? Nothing exists. Everything is nirvana. Nir means nothing. Vana means place. Right? We just merge into light. No philosophy. It's so dry. Sometimes it's so boring. That's why we call dry knowledge. Right? And renunciation does not properly, these are the things, doesn't properly control the senses. Right? So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasa varjam rasopiyasya param drishtva nivartate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment. Okay? Though the taste for sense object remains. But ceasing such engagement by experiencing higher taste is fixed in consciousness. That means ceasing such engagement by experiencing the higher taste is fixed in consciousness. All right? This is the real sense control. This is called the real sense control. How? By practicing, that means by practicing bhakti, when we achieve higher taste, right? Then we experience, okay, that's when the conscious, that means everything is fixed in consciousness. Everything is under my control. This is called the real self-control. One should spiritualize the senses and control them. That means they should what? Spiritualize the senses and control them with mind. And one should spiritualize, then how? Then also one should also spiritualize the mind and control it with intelligence. So that means we spiritualize our mind and control it through the intelligence. By this process, Laulyam in the form of restlessness of the intelligence and mind is vanquished. You got it? So when the intelligence is restless, the mind cannot be fixed. The restless intelligence wanders sometimes in karma, sometimes in yoga, sometimes in dry renunciation, and sometimes in dry knowledge. To fix the intelligence in bhakti by giving up restlessness in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.20.32 to 34 prescribed. So what is mentioned here? Okay. Where is it? Yat karma bhi, yat tapasa, jnana vairagya taschayat, yogena dhamma dharmena, shreyobir, itarais api. Sarvam mat bhakti yogena, mat bhakto labate jasa. Sarva pagavargam mat dharma, katanchit yadi vanchati. Na kinchit sadavo dira, bhakta hyakantino mama. Vachantyapi maya dattam, kaivalyam apunar bhava. So that means he says, everything that can be achieved by fruitive activity, everything that can be achieved, right? Everything that can be achieved by fruitive activity, penance, knowledge, detachment, mystic yoga, charity, religious duty, and all other means of perfecting life is easily achieved by my devotee through loving service unto me. Can you just see that? All the things that you want to achieve can easily achieve by my devotee through loving devotional service to me. If somehow other, my devotee desires promotion in heaven, liberation, residence in my abode, he easily achieves such benediction. Okay? If somehow or other, if my devotee, say if you are a devotee of Krishna, suddenly you desire you want to go to heaven, or you want to, what they call liberation, or you want to even stay in his abode like Bhaktiyaloka or Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna says he easily achieves such benediction. Because my devotee, Krishna says, possesses saintly behavior and deep intelligence. They completely dedicate themselves to me and do not desire anything besides me. Right? Because they completely dedicate themselves to me and do not desire anything other than Krishna. Indeed, even if I offer them liberation, then Krishna says, indeed, if I offer them liberation from birth and death, they do not accept it. Because the devotees naturally enjoy the pleasure of my service. All right? Because the devotee always enjoy the pleasure of serving Krishna. Okay, they don't desire anything else. All right? So, let's see. One. Because, all right. 1, 2, okay, 2.5, right? All right. So, I think we stop here. So now with that thinking, if I offer them liberation from birth and death, they do not accept it. The devotee naturally enjoys my service. Because this topic is quite deep, detailed, so I don't want to jump. I don't rush to read it out. So we stop here. Any questions? Yeah, karma. Yeah, karma. Oh, nishchaya. Complete. Point is that, We stop in which page? Okay. So we are in page 26. All right. So we stop here. And let me mark up quickly. So considering all. Okay. So we continue discussion tomorrow. Now we open for questions and answers. So there's a Hare Krishna Prabhu, how does Maha Maya transform into Yoga Maya when we become fixed in devotional service? Could you please explain the detail? This in detail, you have to go to Srimad Bhagavatam. The details are in Srimad Bhagavatam. Very simple. Okay, I give you analogy. But before that, I would like to humbly request, please don't put this kind of short form HK. All right? Because Hare Krishna is such a lovely name. Like HK. Sometimes it reminds me of Hong Kong. All right. So please write the full thing Hare Krishna. Because when you put that Hare Krishna means we are achieving the purification. Okay. So this is my humble request. No, hey, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. No, because I have to inform you this because I'm mentoring you. I'm training you up. So this is something because this is the same thing happened when Pran Govinda Prabhu also say the same. Because in fact sometimes it's like he get annoyed. Right? HK, Pamho. Please accept my humble obeisances. Pamho or AGTSP. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So don't put this kind of short form because it has a very deep meaning. All right. Yes, Hare Krishna. All right. So now it's like this given. Say a person is.
Kesan, bro. Kesan.
I answer, ne?
Kesan.
Then what did I say just now?
Vivan.
Oh, right. Okay. All right, K7.
Okay.
Okay. So it's like this. Say a person is in the jail. Okay. He's already in the jail. And he's under the superintendent of the warden, jail warden. All right. So what is the job of the jail warden? First of all, to make sure that everyone is in the jail. Make sure that nobody runs away. Second thing, he has to ensure that they go through the punishment according to the crime they did. Right? And make sure they suffer the consequences. So through that suffering, the inmate start to repent. I made a mistake. Oh. But those who don't repent, those who still go against them, they put them into a different type of jail. Even in the prison, okay, because we have that our secretary here in Ipoh, he's a former policeman. He explained how they do. You know, sometimes when these people don't repent, they still retaliate in the jail, in the prison. They'll put them in the dark room. Right? They stay there for days. They don't know whether it's day or light. Or sometimes they put in a room with red light. You know, just imagine you're sitting there in a red light for what? 1 week, 2 weeks. If the thing still doesn't learn, still retaliate, then they throw them into the dark room. The torture will increase according to the thing. So, but what happened when those who repent? Right? So those who repent. So that means those who, after going through the suffering, torturing, then they start to create some kind of what they call? What is the term? They do some kind of rehabilitation. So through the rehabilitation, the person start to transform. The prisoner become well-behaved. Right? When start to well-behave. And when the person is really start to well-behave, he start to attract the warden. The warden start to say, this guy Padita Tarna looks like a good boy. He has changed. Right? He looks repentant. Okay, that is running in his mind. Then I go on further doing some good things, deed and everything. So what happened? The warden who's supposed to keep me there and make sure that I'm uncomfortable and make sure that I'm punished accordingly, he comes to me and say, Padita Tarna, you looks like a good person. I think you have reformed. I will give some leniency for you. And I will recommend your name to be released quickly. I think you have already reformed. Okay, I'm very happy with your changes. Time, maybe I can recommend you to be released from the prison quickly. You do not need to serve 20 years. You have already served 15 years. I think I'll try to recommend you. So that means in the recommendation for the royal pardon, when the king gives a royal pardon, in the recommendation, the warden put my name there. The person who's supposed to put me in the jail and give me enough suffering, he gives a recommendation to the king. I think Padita Tarna Jagannath Das looks like he can be released because he's totally transformed. Then the king, when he sees that, well, okay, let's release Padita Tarna Jagannath Das because you recommended it. You understand, Kesavan? So when we start to practice bhakti, when we start to have transformation, when we start to become very sincere and serious, the Mahamaya that's supposed to keep you binded, she will turn and give a recommendation and also to be very favorable to you that you can continue yourself to practice this thing and achieve the highest success. Okay?
Can Prabhu understand?
Everyone, how the Mahamaya will turn into Yoga Maya. The Mahamaya that's supposed to put you in this prison, she will turn to become favorable. What is the condition? You have to be really repentive. You really must have the change, transformation of your heart. And you have to be very sincere. You have to be very sober. You shouldn't be pretentious. You cannot be a hypocrite. Right? You must be, that means you must always think that I am the eternal servant of the Lord. Not only speaking about it, you have to be absolutely convinced with that. In other words, you have to come to the level of pure devotee. And that is the attempt that we are trying to take now. But the fundamental of all this process, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and you're doing 16 rounds minimum. Because that's recommended by the Acharya. When the Acharya recommends, Krishna accepts it as the new set of rules. Like before, the ladies are not given Brahmin initiation, but Prabhupada gave Brahmin initiation. All right? Do you think, of course, he was criticized for that. But do you think Krishna never accepted that? So Krishna accepted this as a new pair of rules, new set of rules. Because Bhagavatas, in Canto 11, Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned. The Bhagavatas can adjust the rules of this devotional service according to time, place, and circumstances. They can do that. Right? So with that, we end the session here. Thank you so much for your wonderful time. We meet again. Vancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhubhyevacha paditanam pavinibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Have a nice day.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Excellent explanation. Thank you so much.
Yes, hello.